The New Orleans Saints may have lost some key players on the defensive front, but they managed to hold on to one of the most talented wide receivers of all time. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The New Orleans Saints and Michael Thomas will remain together. And that ain't all. We also have some more surprises that the Saints managed to keep on the roster. And we're going to discuss that today. But just remember, if you believe in getting loud and also you got to fight, that means you love talking about the Saints, you love talking about the Pelicans. So we have something in common. Why don't you hit that subscribe button? Then after you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I go live and upload videos. And don't forget to hit that like button. Tell me out with that algorithm, baby. Now, before I get started, I have to let you guys know this is a 4K video. That means at this very moment, you are witnessing this video in 4K quality. 2160p, baby. Not too many YouTubers are willing to give you this many pixels at one time, but your boy is willing to do so. Now let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen. Let me open up my phone so I can tell you what's going on. The New Orleans Saints and Michael Thomas agreed to a restructured deal of a $10 million contract. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This contract is for 1 year. It is worth $10 to $15 million. Now, many people out there suggested that Michael Thomas was ready to move on from the Saints or vice versa. The Saints was ready to move on from Michael Thomas. And some may also think that the signing of Derek Carr is what it made Michael Thomas decide to stay. But I feel like Michael Thomas never was going anywhere. Many people have to understand that the dude was dealing with an injury. A lot of times in the fan base, when a player is injured, we tend to not believe him, right? But I feel like we have to understand we're not on that field. We're not dealing with that injury, right? We're not having professional doctors telling us, look, I feel like you need to sit out 20 games for this thing to be right. We don't have it. Michael Thomas loves being in New Orleans, and New Orleans loves Michael Thomas, and he will remain in the Saints jersey. This really has you hyped for next year. It has to, right? Right now, you're sitting on a Saints offense with a possibility of Alvin Kamara coming back if he avoids suspension. We don't really know. But Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, Michael Thomas, right? Rashid Shaheed, all top. The New Orleans Saints will be hard to deal with. And you have to add in Taysom Hill. I think Derek Carr at this very moment has more weapons than anyone else in the league. If you really think about it, the New Orleans Saints wide receiver core is something to be had, right? Like right now, we have some talent in that wide receiver position. And I feel like Derek Carr is going to take advantage of that talent. Only time will tell. Now, in other news, the Saints also managed to restructure Cam Jordan's contract. Now, I'm one of those people that felt like Cam Jordan was on his way out the door, and this very well could be his last contract with the New Orleans Saints. So I kind of feel like this is a go-all-in contract for Cam Jordan. But I was really surprised that Cam Jordan is willing to stay with the New Orleans Saints, and the New Orleans Saints is willing to keep Cam Jordan. Because I really thought they was going to at least try to trade him to a Super Bowl contender. But this tells me that the New Orleans Saints believes that they are Super Bowl contenders. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The New Orleans Saints are trying to go all in on the offensive side of the ball. Sure, we have some holes to plug in on defense, mainly the defensive line. Secondary is okay. You know what I mean? Our linebacker core, we good. We just got to fill in some defensive line spots, and I think that they're going to address that in free agency. Right now, you could probably pursue Dominique Sue and Jason Pierre-Paul. I know people might think that those guys are old, but just remember, those two names that I just gave you have won Super Bowls in the last 3 years. Jason Pierre-Paul won it with Tampa Bay, and Dominique Sue also won it with Tampa Bay. Damn. Jason Pierre-Paul, was he with the Eagles? I can't remember. Someone in the comments, let me know if I'm wrong or right about that. Was Jason Pierre-Paul on the Eagles team when they won that last year? I don't know. I know for a fact Fletcher Cox was, but I don't know. But we have some holes to fill in on the defensive line, and I think the Saints are going to get that done. At this very moment, we're underneath the cap number, right? So we're good. We're good. All the complaining that people did out there, we finally are in a position where we can sign us some free agents and make a run. Speaking of complaining, the Saints also managed to hold on to quarterback Jameis Winston. Now, me personally, I said in one video, if Jameis go or stays, I would not be bothered. Right? You can go back and you can watch that video. I might even put that video link up here, or if it come on, whatever side it comes on. All right, I'm going to just put both hands up for safety. But I'm going to put that video up so I can prove to you guys that I didn't mind Jameis Winston staying. I didn't mind Andy Dalton staying. But I never thought that Jameis Winston will be a backup. Right? I never thought that. And in reality, I didn't think that he would go for it. But unfortunately, as you can see, Jameis is okay with it. He's okay with coming in and backing up Derek Carr. And much of that has to do, I believe, with the fact that many other teams in the league has already kind of addressed their quarterback situation. Right now, who you got out there? The Jets, who's pursuing Aaron Rodgers at this very moment. You have the Baltimore Ravens, who's waiting for Lamar Jackson. So we really and truly know for a fact that Jameis stayed because the quarterback market isn't as quite demanding as many out there will perceive. Oh, and you got the Las Vegas Raiders, who probably already had Jimmy Garoppolo in sight for months, right? So I feel like this is good for Jameis. I know I said that I didn't think that he was go for it, but this is good for Jameis, right? If Derek Carr stays for 3 years, he backs up Derek Carr, who knows? He could probably get the starting quarterback job back, right? Some way, somehow, the Saints still believe in this guy that much. And as long as my organization believe in him, hey, I have to believe in him as well, right? He can back up Carr for a little bit. Hey, he might even better take the reins when he's about 30, 31, 32, right? And play here till he's about 36. We don't know. We really don't know. I don't know what the plan is with that, but I'm happy for Jameis. He still gets to wear a Saints jersey. And for those people out there who love Jameis Winston, I hope this makes you somewhat happy. I know for a fact it's not going to make you 100% happy because you do not like the idea of Jameis Winston backing up Derek Carr. But hey, he's still in the Saints uniform, baby. So we can't complain about that. So hopefully our New Orleans Saints fill in those holes that they need to fill in. Mickey Loomis has a little work to do. I'm pretty sure he's going to get it done. He gets it done every year, even though I do feel like Mickey Loomis has been dropping the ball as of late because he drafted Marcus Davenport. Thank God Marcus Davenport signed with the Minnesota Vikings, so it would not be up in the air if the New Orleans Saints was going to re-sign him or not. You know, it was time for that guy to go. I'm sorry, Marcus Davenport was a bust for the New Orleans Saints. We wasted a draft pick on that guy. For real, we did. You did better not drafting Marcus Davenport and at that time trading for Indominica Sue. That's what you should have did or really pursued him in free agency. I know you heard the name Sue a lot. I like Sue. I feel like Sue can get it done with enough surrounding talent around him. And the Saints may very well could give him that, right? So hopefully you guys watch this video all the way to the end and help your boy out with that algorithm. And if you're not subscribed, please be sure to do so. And I also want to let you know or remind you that I do have a main channel. It's called The 4KO. I review movies. I do trailer reactions. Talk about geek culture. I talk about toys. So if you're into that kind of stuff, go ahead on and check out my content over there. I'll leave a link in the description below. And if you like it and you see it's something that you want to commit to, make sure you hit that subscribe button over there as well. But in the comments below, let me know about the 3 main things I talked about today. Cameron Jordan, Michael Thomas, Jameis Winston. Let me know how you feel about our New Orleans Saints being able to retain those 3 players in the comments below.